The nice people over at GearBest.com have sent me the brand new Mobius C2 wide-angled action camera to review. Let's check it out. When purchasing the Mobius action camera, these are the accessories that come with the kit. We have the Mobius camera sleeve, we have the Mobius camera sleeve tripod adapter, we have a mini USB cable, we have a couple of strips of sticky back Velcro, and lastly we have what looks like a little Allen key, which I can only assume is used to access the reset button on the back of the camera. On the left is the original Mobius action camera. This is one that I've been using for about 1.5 years now. I have some test footage of this camera. I'll place a link to that video on screen now. So the big differences between the standard lens Mobius and the new widescreen C2 lens Mobius is of course the ginormous lens that this new camera has. So it'll be interesting to see how much extra footage is actually recorded as opposed to the standard lens camera. Besides the larger lens on the C2 Mobius action camera, everything else stays the same. We still have our mini USB port on both cameras. We still have the micro SD card slot on the rear indicator light and rear reset button. We still have the heat sinks on the top of the camera. We still have the indicator light on the left-hand side here, plus the 3 buttons, the power, the mode, and the record button. And lastly, at the front, we still have the microphone next to the lenses. There is a difference in weight between these two cameras. If we first measure the original Mobius action camera, the weight comes out at about 38.5 grams. If we measure the new Mobius with the larger C2 lens, weighs approximately 45 grams. I have the Samsung Evo 32GB micro SD card here. That simply slots into the back of the camera like so, pushes in and is spring loaded. The Mobius action camera is quite popular with the quadcopter community. Some of the reasons for that is its aerodynamic design, its lightweight, and reasonably good price. Another great feature of the Mobius action camera is its ability to output live audio and video direct from the mini USB port. You can buy these adapter cables from websites such as GearBest. They're only a couple of dollars, and that allows you to extract the live audio and video direct from the camera. That means you don't necessarily need a separate camera for your FPV equipment. You can use the camera from the Mobius. There is one caveat to that, however. There is a slight delay with the video feed coming from the Mobius. Before using your Mobius action camera, it's best to go to the mobius-actioncam.com website, download the application called MSetup, run that on your PC. That will allow you to upgrade the firmware within the action camera and also adjust some configuration settings within the camera. Also on this webpage we have the instruction manual for the Mobius action camera. Upon launching the MSetup program, we are greeted with a ton of options for you to modify within your Mobius camera. There's not a lot this camera cannot do. For the purposes of this review, I'll just go over the settings that I've changed. The first one is the lens type. You want to match the lens type that is attached to your Mobius. The lens that I have is the brand new C2 lens, so I've chosen lens C. Next up we have the artificial light frequency. So this is the AC power frequency for your country. In Australia we're using 50 Hz. In the US you'll be using 60 Hz. Next up in the miscellaneous settings, if you wanted to use the live video feed from the Mobius, this is where you can select between PAL and NTSC, and also the aspect ratio, which is quite unique, the 4:3 aspect ratio and the 16:9. Now this is a great feature. If you have a widescreen LCD display or widescreen goggles, you can toggle a widescreen output just so it matches the aspect ratio of your screen. Next up we have the 2 mode buttons, mode 1 and mode 2. These are a couple of mode presets that you can toggle at the field so you can record with different preset settings within the camera. Within mode 1, I've got the field of view set to wide, so this will give us the full 131 degree field of view from the new C2 lens. I'm also recording at full 1080p resolution at 30 frames a second. I have the video data rate set to high, and I've turned off the video timestamp on the screen. Next up, we have mode 2. I've changed the field of view to narrow, left the video resolution at 1080p and 30 frames a second, plus the video data rate to high, and the video timestamp turned off. Next we have the photo mode, and lastly we have the advanced image settings. For the purposes of this review, I've left the sharpness, exposure, contrast, saturation, etc. all to normal, same as the color options. The only thing I've changed here is the white balance. That's set to auto, but I've enabled the lock mode. That will enable me to lock the white balance when I first power up the Mobius. That is so the white balance doesn't change on me while I'm recording during the footage. And we don't have to use a PC to program the Mobius, we can use our mobile phone. I've loaded this program from the Google Play Store. This is called Mobius USB Tools. Simply plug in your USB on-the-go cable from your Android phone into the Mobius camera. The application will then automatically power up and connect to the Mobius camera, and this will allow you to change all the settings we saw earlier within the M Setup program. Cool. Okay, enough chatting. I've velcroed both of these Mobius cameras to a piece of wood so I can take them outside and compare the differences between the 131 degree C2 lens to the standard lens. I'm very happy with the image quality from the C2 lens on the Mobius camera. Not only do you get a much wider field of view, but you maintain that crisp, sharp 1080p image that we've come to expect with the previous Mobius cameras. Of course, having such a wide field of view, we do suffer a bit from fishbowling on either side of the image, but that's to be expected with a 131 degree field of view. And of course, the final test, I've strapped the Mobius C2 to the Peon230 Quadcopter. I'll take it out to the local park for a spin. Let's see how it fares. Thanks again to the nice people over at gearbest.com for sending me this Mobius action camera to review. Certainly check out gearbest.com before you make your next purchase. And stick around for the next video where I go over protective 3D printed cases for your Mobius action camera.